Rylan Harvey joins me now. Rylan witnessed the attack at the library yesterday. Rylan, thank you so much for giving us your time.
My pleasure. I've been pretty emotional this morning, so I'm happy to speak to you guys.
Yeah, and take your time. I can only imagine what's going through your mind. If you could walk us through what you saw yesterday.
Yeah, so I'll give you some context. I was at the mall with my mother and my fiance. We went for sushi in the mall, and then they went to look at Winners to look at some clothes, and we had planned to go out to get some dog food, which is actually across the street, down the street a little bit on Lynn Valley Road. And I had to go to the car to actually change a bandage for a blister that I have, and nothing was going on. I went back inside to meet my mother and Elena. And when we came outside, there was clear there was something going on. There was probably one or two police cars at the time, and they had just almost literally tackled the suspect. And as we walked closer to see what was happening, and several other, I'd say maybe 10 police cars and looked like SWAT guys with rifles came up and were holding this guy on the floor, and there was yelling, and they were yelling commands at each other, and they were yelling commands at the individual, and he was yelling, and it was just a pretty chaotic scene that was going on. After that, we watched that for a little bit, and I took some video, and then we walked towards the dog food place, kind of in shock, and that's where we came up to the front of the library, I guess where it had just happened, and there was several ambulances that were showing up, and they had people on stretchers that they were putting on the stretcher, and it was a chaotic scene. There was people bandages all over their head on the stretcher. There was quite a bit of blood, and everyone was kind of just in shock. We were watching what was happening, and I didn't know what to do. I mean, I've never seen anything like that before. So.
Yeah, never seen anything like that. Certainly never expected to ever see anything like that. How are you doing, Rylan? How is your mother, your fiance doing?
I mean, we're okay. I mean, we're very sympathetic for the victims, and I'm interested to know more about what happened. I still don't know, and we didn't get much sleep last night. It's been on our mind. My sister-in-law and my nephew is 18 months old. They actually went to that library in the past week to get some books for him, some children's books, and that's 5 minutes from my house. I live less than a kilometer away, so it's just shocking to think that would happen. I lived in downtown Toronto for a while, and there was lots of action per se here, but in North Vancouver, you really don't expect these type of things to happen. It's a very quiet community. Everyone here is really close, and I don't know what to say.
Yeah, no, and I know that the investigation, is ongoing, extensive. Police saying that right now they're not answering a lot of questions because they still have a lot of questions to try and answer as they're trying to piece what's happening here. You described the area as a quiet area, very neighborhood-like. Certainly, families out. That library being there, we know, is a spot that so many people go to.
Yeah, absolutely. It's kind of, it's a very suburban neighborhood we live in here up in the mountains. And, that's kind of where we have a shopping center there. You have a gas station, you have a liquor store. It's kind of where people congregate to go. So, that's why we were there. We were doing some shopping, and we decided to grab lunch together. And then, bam, that's kind of where it happened.
Where it happened. And being in the area, though, I can only imagine what was going through your mind when you saw the chaos unfold and the police taking this individual down. Was there anything that you heard, anything, I mean, clearly it seemed like it was a lot of confusion to say, what's going on here?
Yeah, sure. So I actually, when I was younger, I went to military school in South Carolina, and we trained with the Army and Marine Corps. And we did quite a bit of training about crisis management and reaction in a crisis situation when your fight or flight response kicks in. So I really did feel a little bit of that. I mean, being on the sidelines, and the first responders were doing a really good job of managing the suspect and what was going on. So there wasn't much to do, but I did have a situation assessment that I did in my head where I just looked around and tried to see if there was anything else going on, because I didn't know whether it was just one guy or not. I mean, I saw this guy tackled by the police, but I made sure that my mom and Elena were safe, because that's the most important thing. People, again, there was a lot of confusion because it's probably about 100 or 200 yards down the street where we first came out of the mall and the police were tackling the guy. And then as we went down to get the dog food in that area, that's where I guess that was where the library is. So from seeing that, then we started to realize that it was that's where it happened. And then I guess he was running away when they got him.
Yeah, well, we're happy that you're safe, that your mother and your fiance are safe. And we really appreciate you giving us your time. I know very difficult, very emotional. Our hearts go out to the people of North Vancouver, certainly. Rylan Harvey, thank you so much for giving us your time. Stay safe.
My pleasure. Thank you.